Hey guys, it's Nobile and this is CEO Dancers Off Stage and we are off script.
What happened with us?
Oh! Say the truth, nothing but the truth, and do not add lies. And no, I did not do nothing wrong. Me, I'm here to speak my own truth.
Three different perspectives
Thank
to this.
you.
There's no one.
Do you know what? I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that.
Thank you.
We all have our versions, and I'm going to hand it over to Nobile to say her version.
Why me? What happened?
Hey!
You know what? I feel like the truth is what happened between...
Your truth, not the truth.
The truth. What happened is CEO Dancers, we formed CEO Dancers, we're in our early 20s. We're babies really in the industry. We had no guidance. We had mentors, yeah, but in regards to our craft and our industry, we had inspirations externally, but we didn't have like in-house, somebody to look up to, like close to us. Or,
What happened to CEO
Let me
Dancers?
land.
Let her land. She's in the air.
Let me land.
Your plane.
So with that came with a lot of immaturity with our friendship. Did I ask for your backup?
See,
Echo.
this is
About Anyway, so like I feel like we just had to figure out things ourselves.
Yeah.
There was a lot of immaturity within our friendship in regards to how we handled certain things. We had no communication, basically. We were not good communicators. None of us were.
Whoa, wait, we're listening.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Exactly.
She's listening humbly. But I feel, say it, you've got a lot of
Everyday
feelings.
feeling. Just talk.
It's a hard question. It's got a lot of
So
Layers.
from your,
layers.
but that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to peel the onion. Let me peel it. It's making me,
Emotion.
not really emotional for what? Yeah. No. What happened? I just feel like we had so much love for each other. Like CEO Dancers was formed from friendship, sisterhood, and with that, when you fight with someone, you fight. It's either you love her. When you love her, when we loved super, super hard. There was no break in us. And when we fought, it was like literally like sisters. We fought really hard. And that's where my first breakup in a while happened, due to even my friendship with Solia. A lot of people knew online, oh my God, I love you lot's friendship. Then when we broke up, it sounds weird. When we broke up, it was heavy. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like with that, CEO Dancers became like my family. They became my everything. Like everything we did was literally always the three of us doing it together.
Yeah.
Shopping and everything and anything, down to even guys I dated. I'm like, oh my gosh, Solia, please text for me. She used to text most of the time. Even you, remember when I was dating the videographer guy? Yeah. I was like, oh, text for me. Something dumb as that. They became my life, my lifestyle. So I feel like with certain things that I didn't really communicate or they didn't communicate to me, when we clashed, it just went left and I was like, I'm done. And it was just like a build-up of one thing after another. And due to us not communicating our feelings or what we felt one person has done us wrong, it was just like a build-up and then like a
What do you mean by
blow-up.
one person has done us wrong? I'm thinking.
Hey, wena.
hey, well, like Fusik.
Exactly. Tell her, Futek.
The only word I know is Assam. Sorry, that's all I got.
I mean, don't ever question it as if it's something dirty.
What the fuck does it mean?
Oh, it means let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Listen, get your Zule in
There
check.
it is. There it is.
So that's your answer, because remember we said this is meant to be unscripted.
Ezine, please, what happened with us?
What happened was this babe here said that she wanted to become a singer, that she was leaving this group in 6 months. That's what happened. What do you mean? We were together. It was
because I
loving
want
her.
more for myself.
Okay, we want less.
Because I wanted more for myself. I'm not just a dancer. We've got more layers to ourselves. And I love and I said that because it then inspired all of us to go. No?
No.
More.
No.
That's why you told me that.
Let me tell you. So when nope. So when this conversation, this is when I was saying I got to a point, because I used to be an accountant. So my whole plan personally was, I'm going to go get a 9 to 5 in a bank somewhere and live this life. And when we had this opportunity as CEO dancers and we have the opportunity to travel the world and do all of these things, I genuinely thought, okay, this is my future and I can build something amazing with these ladies. And I left that. And so when we saw that financially, there's one thing getting a dope paycheck, but splitting a dope paycheck between 4 people affects that paycheck. Do you get what I mean? And when I realized that, and I studied accounting and business management, so my head was clicking on the business management side of things and think, okay, you need to diversify what we do. And that's why I was like, oh, let's try out music. But when you were like, oh, that's you want to take music seriously and you don't see yourself in this group for more than 6 months.
But then wait. Before you even go there, but music has always been something I've been transparent about. From time where I'm posting videos of me singing in my own yard, posting on Instagram, and you were like, oh gosh, why are you singing? Remember that?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like whether you were passionate about singing or not, does not take away from what was spoken that day and how I received it. So that's
and prior to that, things like we've done, to be honest, it came to a point where CEO dancers, as much as I was passionate about it, but it felt like we were not on the same page, all of us, because, for example, D'banj tour in Africa, why didn't you make it?
I was in university studying.
I know, but same here. Same here. But I left university because it was my priority.
But that's fine. I was not willing to drop out of uni to do a show with D'banj. It was not going to happen because for me, it was an investment that I was not willing to let go of. Like my background, like a lot of people don't know, it's not like I come from money. Like, do you get what I mean? I don't see, and also my mental track was I'm going to be an accountant. Like,
so can
I needed to graduate.
Can you see how she might have thought that you weren't serious or you didn't have as much commitment as she had because you were not able to make that tour?
No, but I'm the one that brought us to sit together and say, okay, how can we advance the group and do more so that we can make more money since I have dropped everything.
But then years of build-up of 2011 is the D'banj tour. Me and Solia, we shot. It felt like at some point, remember we were always together, even at some point when D'banj came to town, it was just me and Solia.
It was only DC.
No, there was something else. There was a shoot that we did with D'banj, the Oliver Twist tutorial or something, and you didn't make that shoot. And it was me and her. No.
Yeah, no, I know what she's talking about.
It was me and Solia, just me and Solia.
Which one?
I can't remember, but I shall know what she's talking about.
For me, do you want to explain? Because I wanted to explain from my perspective, because we started this by saying there's 3 different angles. And for me, I want you to understand, or both of you to also understand my mental state so that when you explain yours, I can understand where your mental state was as well. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, after graduating from university, we then did, and a lot of people, I don't know if they even knew that while we were doing Britain's Got Talent, I was writing my final exams. So for me, no one can tell me that I wasn't committed because I didn't have any friends in uni.
Yeah, to be honest.
Like I was hella focused. I changed schools. I left Brunel because I wanted to graduate, but I also wanted to dance. And I knew because Brunel was a heavily party school, I knew I wouldn't be able to pass effectively while still committed to dance. So I chose not to have friends in uni. I chose to dance and to study. And those were the only 2 things I did. Do you get what I mean? So after graduating, I said, okay, I finished graduating. I'm now going to put all my energy into this, to the point that I would wake up at 9 o'clock. Everybody would go to our office. I'll go down to the basement because I said to myself, if you're going to dance full time, you need to take it on the same level as if you went to a corporate job.
Yeah.
So for me, I would wake up and go down and be training as a dancer. So when you said to me that you were going to leave in 6 months, that scared me because I was like, shit, I've left everything for this and she's leaving in 6 months. I had to go into fight or flight mode.
Flight mode, yeah.
Where it's okay, cool. Okay, you have 6 months to get yourself together and somewhat build a career that without anybody around you. Do you get what I mean? And that's why I said, okay, let me put together a class. And I spoke to both of you about it. I did say, I'm going to do a dance class. And you both said, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever.
Is this when you wanted to create your own CO dancers? Is that when?
No, not then. That's when the beef really entered. No, it was much earlier than that. This was like my very first class that had literally 4 people in it. Like I had no plans to do it.
Can I talk from my own perspective?
What's your perspective?
Yeah, I think unfortunately I was the scapegoat and the antelope in this thing because so my background was actually dance. You know, Ezine was accountant, Nabile loved her music. I have been like dance. You know, I went to uni for dance. I did dance in college, musical theatre and all that stuff. Talking to my people.
No, talk to us.
I did musical theatre and all that stuff. So I really... Why are you laughing? Are you
Why can't I laugh?
Dancing was my life. And before I even met these ladies, I was already a commercial dancer. You know, I was signed to dance agencies and, you know, stuff like that. So when I met you ladies, I just thought this was it for me. You know, these are the, like, I loved everything we were doing. I trained and did ballet, I did contemporary, and I essentially chose to do street dance. So African dancing was kind of new to me, but I loved it. I loved experiencing everything I did with you ladies. And dance was literally my life, and dance was literally all I knew. So for me, in my perspective, we were doing this for so many years, and, you know, growth is linear, or how do they say that thing? It's not straightforward, and
it's not linear. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I meant.
Growth is not linear. It's shy higgy haga. You know, we had a few like pivotal moments in our careers, some great moments, but it wasn't enough to sustain us like financially.
Yeah,
you know,
wasn't.
from the outside it looked amazing.
Glamorous.
But people used to think we
were balling.
we live in a mansion.
D'Banj's wives.
Yeah, because we were working with the band, all of a sudden I bought a mansion.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't like that. I felt like and I know, like I said, Ezine is super strategic. So if 1 + 1 is not equaling to 2 for Ezine, she's already thinking, what the hell am I doing?
Yep.
And Nabile can also be very, very strategic as well when it comes to her career. If Nabile says she wants a purple-coloured unicorn with wheels on, she's going to figure out how to get it. That's
Amen.
Nabile for you, right? So around that time when Nabile decided that she wants to just focus on herself and do music, I feel like people... Okay, so this is how I see it. I feel like people were in your ear, Ezine, and your ear, Nabile, and say, you can do better without these girls. You can do your own thing. Like, anyway, you're the Ezine, you're the brains of this, you know, you're the accountants, you're the business side of things. Like, why don't you just, you know, if they're not cooperating, why don't you just do your own thing and just start your own thing and, you know, it can blow. Nabile, I feel like people are looking at it, yeah, but you're the fine babe, you're the this, you're the that. You two, you can do your own thing. Now just forget these babes, not necessarily in those words, forget these babes and you can blow. Like, if they're not cooperating, if they're not on, you know, aligned with what you want to do, why don't you just get up and do your own thing? And I think selfishly, you guys made, or let me say Nabile first, because I think Ezine reacted to your actions. I think that you guys didn't think about the bigger picture. You know, we were at the peak, but I feel like there was just this big, fat, juicy apple that we were nearly about to reach. But unfortunately, because of everybody was thinking about themselves.
Oh, yes.
We didn't reach that apple.
No humble entries anymore. Oh, yes.
And it's unfortunate and it's sad because we had worked so hard, you know, 7, 8 years.
Did you feel like unfortunate?
No, I did. I think at the time it was unfortunate. Now it's fine. Listen, God has a plan for everything. And that's what, because if the group didn't go its separate way, I wouldn't be on my culinary journey. I wouldn't be like proper on it like I am right now.
And how many years have I been talking about, I want to be a musician? It would have never happened.
No, not necessarily. No,
but can
not
I
necessarily.
say the effort that I see, and maybe this is me looking at it from this angle, the effort I see that you put into your culinary and the effort I see you put into your music, I don't feel that we put all that level of effort into dance.
I disagree with you because
Go on.
Because we became, I can definitely agree that we became very, relaxed, and we became not as hungry. Because we were hungry. In the beginning, we were hungry.
Yeah, I mean, like the that's what I'm saying. You're agreeing and disagreeing at the same time.
Yeah,
okay, go on.
Yeah, I'm agreeing and disagreeing at the same time because it became monotonous. It became like we were doing the same thing, and it almost felt like we weren't getting the rewards. And also living off a paycheck to paycheck, it was hard. So I can understand why. Let me speak for myself. For me, it was like I wasn't motivated as much as I was in the beginning. So then the passion now became a job. Because I'm led by passion. I'm led by.
So how did you expect us? No, but how did you expect us? For Solly, how did you expect us to reach that shiny apple if we were feeling that it's now a job and we're not putting as much effort in? Because we wouldn't get there.
No, 100%. And I think this is where the lack of I guess guidance or the lack of leadership really came into play. Because if we had somebody there to say, listen, these are the opportunities, and if you guys decide that you want to go your separate ways, this could potentially be what we're losing. We're going to miss out on this, and this, and have that like come to Jesus moment.
And even like a direction in terms of like, okay, here is your delivery point.
Yes, exactly.
This is the things you need to be delivering. But again, it's that creates a job environment. You cannot, you cannot even take away from the fact that you do music. As much as it is a passion, it will become a job.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a job.
Every day is a job. So I felt like we didn't have that same level of conviction that you have for music and you have for... We did not have it as a team for dance.
With you.
You know what
I
it is?
absolutely disagree
because
with you.
I feel like partly what added to that is that at the beginning, we were... From rehearsing in Solly's house, garden, and all of the moments, doing everything, local fashion show, local this, even taking gigs for what? £50 for the three of us? Like back. Do you know what I mean? Or, I feel like the success after, I'd say probably the band, the Wireless being like the first group to do that, and then like the gigs, the World Music Awards, the Britain's Got Talent, all of this. I feel like it was then success became like, meh, we were too used to it.
No, I don't think success. For me, the success didn't match up to the financials.
Absolutely not.
That's what it was. Like,
oh my God.
Okay, fantastic. You were Britain's Got Talent. Okay, you were World Music. Okay, you were to Monaco.
You're still living your parents' house today.
You're still...
you couldn't buy... We can't do anything. There's nothing to show for it.
So for me, I wasn't motivated as much.
Yeah.
It didn't feel... As much as I loved dance, I just didn't feel like I wasn't reaping the rewards of the hard work.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. Because you were not reaping it, you were not passionate, and you were not
putting in as much work later on. I'm talking about in the beginning, yes, we were.
But that's what I'm not talking about the beginning.
Okay,
I'm talking about later.
Of course,
on. That's what I'm saying, because we're talking about what led to the demise, to the end of CEO.
Yeah. Basically 2015, 2016 period. That's
around that time.
CEO dancers,
So we cannot focus on what was happening when it was good. Yeah. We need to look at what led to that point. Yeah. And that was because there's multiple things. You guys may also feel like, Esne was taking it too seriously or too like where it's now like, it's just boring. I felt like
she wasn't taking it serious.
Who?
I feel like she was doing her. You.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was taking it seriously. I just took that statement literally.
Yeah, and it's crazy for me how I still can't recall like how I said it like that. Yeah. But the fact that you can concur to what she's saying, it's like, ooh, damn.
And that was it. If you never made that statement,
that basically in 6 months
that you're leaving, I would have never done a class. That wouldn't have triggered. I would have never gone, because in my head, every time I would be like, oh, but Nabila is leaving in a couple of months.
But don't you respect the fact that I came clean and I said about what my heart desires?
No,
we had like a good run of, let's say, 5 years as dancers, but I feel like I'm cheating myself. I want to become more than just like
But that's
a
fine.
dancer.
But you cannot now be mad at my reaction to that statement.
No, I can be mad.
It wasn't
No,
a good reaction. The way you reacted, it wasn't
my
healthy
reaction
at all.
was
You were doing as you please, babe.
No, prepare for her exit. That was my reaction.
Yes.
But you
Okay,
communicated
no.
the same way she's communicating. You were just
prepare for your
Exit.
for your exit, which is absolutely fine. And like I said, you are very,
I'm just straightforward. You say something,
which
I
is not a
react, I do
problem.
my own thing.
Where I found where I found it really, really hard and really like shook me to the core, honey, was when it became dirty. It became ugly. And it became like, these are not the girls that I know. These are not the
Like what? Talk on.
as in, are you inside my throat? Let me speak.
let me out of your throat.
Was when Ezine changed the passwords to the emails. She Ezine essentially wanted to create a mini CEO.
Hey! I remember I called my lawyer friend Melissa. Hey! I'll never forget.
the lawyer friend.
Yes,
we
to
did.
get our law and everything, paperwork in order. Because
Yeah.
you
But
came
you
for
still
us.
couldn't even do much because I had the trademark.
Yes.
Look at that pompously. You couldn't do much.
You
Yeah.
couldn't do much.
And
Because
then
trademark
when
the
you
name
guys
CEO
know about the
dancers.
business of business, I was like, okay, I have my experiences.
we understand the business side of things, but
But what led to that? Because I would not just change the password for the chef of it.
Ezine.
But what led to that? You have to give a good.
I
For me,
can't-
I'm just trying to
okay, what led
understand
to
for
it?
myself. That's what I'm asking. You're the person that said that something has happened.
I don't
so something has
understand.
happened.
Something happened. What led to you? So do you not remember? Do you not recall?
Personally, not right now. So
You
I
don't
just
remember changing the passwords and everything? And
I can't remember what had happened then.
I can't remember exactly what led to
Because-
it, but I know it was off the back of
off the back of something has happened.
yeah, this whole I'm leaving, blah blah blah, whatever. Like
That
But then
wasn't
I was still
then.
within the group,
because
still
we're still
acting
within
actively.
the group because we'll
No.
still get it. No,
So
we have
you're-
to get the lines correct. If you're gonna pull up on that, we have to think about the timeline. Was this when I went to Nigeria for Nigerian Idol, or when you guys went to America for Drake? Because you still had the access.
You missed Drake because of Nigeria, so that's got nothing to do
but
with
don't you
it.
have the access?
Listen, Drake was way after that.
So
before
it's after.
then.
So this is before.
This
Yeah.
is before. This is what I'm saying. This was. Why are you saying no if you don't
No.
remember?
Who's the person that answers our emails?
What do you mean? Who's the person that answers our
Who does
emails?
our emails? It's not all three of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can I change it?
No,
Just
but
relax.
We were actually locked out of our emails.
We were
for a while.
locked out of
and
the
you had
emails. What are you
access to
talking about?
everything.
You had-
Even our Instagram, everything. Hence why you could post a class.
No,
and
but we
we're
had
cracking-
but she had access, but we also
You
had
had access.
Which isn't it? Stop frowning your face. Let me lie.
No, because I'm confused. Like, this is like genuinely my first time
and
of
I'm
hearing
telling
this.
you,
So yeah.
this is the first time you're hearing that you changed the password.
Yes. No, I'm dead ass.
No, baby, you did.
I'm so serious.
You had access to the Instagram, of course. So did we, because that's why we were able to delete
her post.
what she said
instantly.
But I think because the verification. Oh wow!
Wow.
Everything has to go via her.
To
Basically,
Ezine,
she has to agree. So she sees
locked
everything.
us
Yeah,
out.
block her.
She
Oh, I will tell you how. You see the notification on the
I
email.
will tell you. I'm just that
you
person.
will tell us
You did.
when, then
If
or
I
now.
was to do something like that.
What you did.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not even understanding. Like, for me, this is new to me hearing this.
Yeah.
Because even when I posted it, I know you guys have access to it. And even when we said about the whole CEO dancers, creating a new CEO dancers thing, is it not something I already shared with you guys as well?
No,
but you
not
decide-
how
but
it was
but
done.
yeah,
It was
not
weird.
how-
For me, it was shocking because I remember
my
the emotions, how we reacted. We were like, it was like the end of the world. It felt like, oh my gosh, how dare
I
you?
told you guys that this is something I would like to do. Or like I'm trying to understand.
No, we
what
spoke about it
happened.
as a group that we would love to do that in due time
yes,
when
of
we are
course.
all like retiring, not really retiring
like
to
we
say
want
we're old.
to train.
Okay.
We want to train the next generation of CEO
And have a
dancers, which
CEO
is going
Dancers
to be-
Academy. I even remember
Exactly.
very well.
Which
we
is
even,
going to
we
be
even said the word academy, which means there will be youngers. So when sorry, my language. So you decided when you were like, cool, I'm going to do this by
What made
myself.
me say
Lock up.
cool? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We don't know. Ask
I'm
you and
trying
your
to tell you, it stemmed off of the back of this whole situation with Nabile, and what exactly it was, like the pinpoint of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay,
but
cool.
it basically stemmed off of Nabila saying she was leaving. And I think that once she said those words, your brain was already on survival mode, right? And I don't know how long it took us. I don't know the timeline, but I know for a fact it came from that era, right? And obviously from then we weren't seeing eye to eye. You had beef with Nabila, like how can she say she's leaving, blah blah blah. You felt the way you felt about Ezine, you know. And I also
Which till today I don't understand, but carry on. Like what she felt, like what Nabila felt about me. Like I didn't understand, because if you said you were leaving, what is the problem? That was my issue. Like I didn't understand why everybody had an issue.
Can I be completely honest with you? I think Nabila said that in passing, and I think she said it flippantly. Yeah. I don't think she had a plan put in place.
It was more like, these are my wants.
Yeah, I think she desires. Said it, which is, and don't get me wrong, I'm not upset with the way you reacted, you know, not the other parts, but in the way you reacted, like, listen, I got to get mine at the end of the day, right? But I don't think she had a plan in place, like, within 6 months, this is what I'm going to be doing.
I didn't have a plan either.
No, but I'm saying that I don't think she was going to, because even after those words were spoken,
I was still very much present. Yeah,
we still had gigs that we had to fulfill.
And I've always been very transparent about my actions. Which
first things first.
Not necessarily. You weren't always transparent. First of all, let's relax.
What wasn't I transparent about?
You're very
concerning my movements.
No. Don't even do that.
I'm doing it.
No, don't do it. You're not to say you're sneaky, but you're not the most transparent person.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I am private, because I'll tell you why. Because I feel like I have been private about certain things. Because I felt like, for example, this is a great example, which stems from even when we're talking about you supporting Look at Her when I released it. It felt like sometimes everything that I desire to do and I'm so open about, then you went and did. It's like, wait, I'm saying it feels
that's
like,
what you feel.
For example, music. You've never mentioned you doing music.
Pause. Who said we should do music as a group?
Wait, before the group.
But don't say that. Don't say that without.
2013. You even said you're gonna manage me.
Before it was just about the money.
Do you understand? Like, waiting concern what you're doing. I said right at the beginning. Like I said, you people. Like, I don't think you understand how much pressure coming from my background that I had in terms of survival, in terms of making a living.
How about my family? No. What do you think? They're just there.
But that's you and that's me. My own pressures are different from yours. They might be, they're different.
How?
This podcast is produced by Unedited.